My name is Noni Limpo. I am the CEO of TA Healthcare Group. Our company started over 15 years ago. A group of friends decided we wanted to serve the electronics manufacturing industry, which, as you know, is spread across Asia. Now, since we had to support customers locally, we were really set up as a multinational outfit right from the start. Today, we're in about 7 countries, serving Southeast Asia and Greater China. But 6 years ago, we latched onto opportunities in the medical field, particularly in diagnostics and rehabilitation fields. I guess that's how TA Healthcare was born. There were nuggets of wisdom, or 3 pieces of advice that we followed. The first, I would say, is to be curious. It's very normal for SMEs to be consumed in running day-to-day operations. But it's also very important that along the way, you benchmark how you're doing versus other industries, and to also see the macro environment. And during our scanning and over the years, we discovered that healthcare actually had a really great opportunity ahead of itself. The second point, I guess, is to be honest with yourself. I think you as consumers also know that the electronics manufacturing industry is very cyclical. And during economic downturns, it's very problematic for companies like us. So we had to admit to ourselves that if we were to survive and hopefully, find a way to thrive, we needed to apply our business model to another industry as well. And luckily for us, healthcare was there, because if there wasn't, we probably would be hard-pressed to take care of the people in our company. And these are our main assets, our people. The third piece of advice, I guess, is to be willing to learn. When we started in healthcare, none of us have had any background in the field. I started it, based on the electronics manufacturing background. All we had was ourselves just doing everything from the ground up. But I think if you network enough and you learn new skills along the way, you find a way to be successful. And in a way, I think we are successful, because today, healthcare accounts for about 50% of our revenue. When you're running a company, most of your energies are consumed by the day-to-day operations, and that's correct. After all, your daily operations bring food on the table. But the fact is that industry best practices get updated continuously. And my own academic exposure was over 20 years ago. And surely the world has changed over that span of time. And so, I find the SME consulting program a very good venue for us to be exposed to what's out there and to learn from it. I'm really very happy that we discovered this. We had no notions about digital marketing being a tool for expanding your business. And so, these MBA students were our teachers, and we were very happy to learn from them. In return, as we were doing the project with them, we gave them actual feedback as to what was practical, between working on the project and doing our day-to-day stuff. So if ever there was anything, I think the MBA students received real-world feedback from us with regard to what they were asking us to do. The project was entitled Developing a Digital Marketing Strategy for the company. I think I mentioned earlier that digital marketing was not even part of my vocabulary. So that was something that really explains just how much we needed to learn. During the short period that we were together with the MBA consulting group, they provided us with a very structured format. If I remember right, there were like 8 sessions that we needed to complete. These sessions were spread over a 2 to 3 week period. So the total period that we had was only about 20 weeks. But aside from that structured learning that was provided us, it was very helpful that there was a practical component to it, in that they were guiding us to build an actual website. And in building this website, it was very interesting to me that, you had to define a brand. You had to communicate or convey your company personality. And so there were surveys that we had to conduct, and that was very educational for us. Along the way, my vocabulary has now improved. I know search engine optimization. I know Google My Business. And we know that MailChimp exists. These are probably taken for granted by a lot of your students. But for us, it's really eye-opening. We never would have learned this except through the program. And I guess the icing on the cake is at the end of the period that we had together, the team provided us with what they call a playbook, or a digital marketing strategy playbook. And in it, the outline of everything that needs to be done from the ground up until we complete our website and all of our other digital marketing initiatives was in that playbook. And so even though the consulting project has ended more than a month ago, to date, we're still referring to that playbook. The answer to that is a no-brainer. I think for us SMEs, such a program is really time well spent. I've said it earlier, if you want to remain relevant, I think continuous learning is very important. And this program is very convenient for us. I think I'd like to start on another project soon. For students, well, I'd like to think that their exposure to us as an actual business case is very helpful for them as well. If I try to remember how it was when I was in school, you have the academic rigor in school, and when you're going through that learning environment, you tend to think that the real world is just the same. But the truth is very far from that. And I think students will benefit from meeting real heads of companies or real people in organizations, and for them to actually test their theories versus what can actually be done. I really hope that all of your students grab at the opportunity to be part of this program. I certainly wish that there were more students available, even if there's added workload.